I'm wearing leather pants and they're making like leather sounds. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today we are talking all about fall fashion. All the hottest trends coming in real hot for fall 2021. Let's jump right in. I am so excited for today's video because this is my favorite fashion season. This is one of the biggest seasons in fashion and I love covering it every single year. Today, of course, you know, we are talking about fall fashion. What is coming in? I am so happy that a lot of the trends that I'm going to talk about here today are some of the trends that we've seen in previous seasons, and I love when they carry over because I've been really upset with the fast pace of fashion and even luxury fashion and designer fashion. It's been seemingly moving in a really fast pace, so I'm really happy that a lot of these fall trends are carried over from previous seasons. And today we're talking about 10 of the hottest trends coming in for fall 2021. But before we get into it, I'd really like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Skillshare is an online learning community for creative people that want to learn new skills or just be creative. So since Style Hard is always growing and I'm always trying to improve your viewing experience here, I'm constantly watching videos and taking courses so I could just be the best at what I do and just make it really great for all of us. So one class I've been absolutely loving is Find Your Style, 5 exercises to unlock your creative identity by Andy J. Pizza. That's right, Andy J. Pizza. Now, his motto is, you don't find your style finds you, which I think is so incredible. I think if you've been subscribed to my channel, you know I live by that here on Style Hard. I think it's really important to not follow every trend, but just organically kind of find your way creatively, whether it's through your style, your fashion, decorating your home. I think it's all very important for it to come together organically and kind of find you. And as a result, you end up becoming the best version of yourself. So this specific course covers unpacking your identity, your influences, your experiences, and it can help you create successful projects now and in the future. My good friends at Skillshare gave me a special deal just for my people here at Style Hard. So the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description box will get a free trial of the Skillshare Premium membership. And after that, it's only $10 a month. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into Fall Fashion 2021. All right, let's talk Fall Fashion 2021. The first on this list is gonna have to go to knits. Now, knits are always popular for fall and winter, but this season we're seeing knits in a different way. We're seeing a lot of head-to-toe knits, a lot of matching knit sets, and knits that are a little bit different, kind of like a boucle. Some are like terry cloth, almost like bathrobe style, but in the form of a knit. A lot of long knit dresses, knit sets. Like if you're following me on Instagram, I did a little shopping vlog just like on my stories where I took you guys to Fendi and I showed you some new pieces from the Kim Jones collection. Not only did I see on the runway, but I also saw in the boutique the matching knit, almost like bra set crop top with knit skirt. So it's kind of like a weird way of doing knit, but very cool and very fashionable. And just the different materials of knits we've been seeing on the runway, very cool and very edgy. I personally really like the boucle vibes that we're seeing. It's kind of like couch material, but in a luxury, bougie, and very cozy kind of way. So while knits are always relevant in fashion during the fall winter months, I really am liking the new styles of knits that we're seeing. They're not pieces that, are so over the top trendy that are going to be out by next season. They're definitely still pieces we can continue to wear going forward, but they are new and edgy and a very cool take on fall fashion. Number 2, I've been seeing a lot of maxi coats on the runway for fall 2021. Now, I live in Toronto. A lot of you guys know this. So for me, quilted puffers are pretty much not necessarily a fashion statement, but an absolute essential. You cannot go out in the intense Toronto cold weather without a puffer jacket. Now, when I think about floor-length puffer coats that we're seeing on the runway, like the quilted floor-length puffers, I think of like those long North Face coats, walking the dog, like a lot of moms doing their school drop-off run in the freezing cold early morning. So for me, I don't really love this fashion trend, but it's definitely something that we've seen on the runway. And since they are showing it for fall, I don't know how heavy these coats are, but we have seen a lot of maxi floor length puffer style coats. So I don't know if they're like very thick and down-filled, super warm for like harsh winter, but it is a style we are seeing for fall. I have an association to, you know, just trying to keep warm in those coats. It's just like a very North Face aesthetic for me. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's just, to me, more functional than it is fashion. I'm just really not that much of a fan of this long quilted look, especially if they're showing these pieces for pre-fall. That means it won't even be functional for winter. So for me, it's a no.
What do you think I'm going to say to you?
No.
Correct. Goodbye.
Number 3, let's talk cutouts. I've talked about cutouts many times here on this channel and a lot on Instagram and of course on TikTok as well. Cutouts have been a huge trend, and I am so happy that this trend has carried over for the last couple seasons. This is nothing new. This makes me very happy. We are seeing cutouts in a different way. I love to see cool, dramatic cutouts in dresses, in tops, even in skirts and pants. We're seeing it all across the board in different aesthetics by different designers. Now, if you're looking at a designer like Dion Lee, who does a lot of kind of fashion fetishism, which again, I've covered a lot on this channel, the cutouts are going to look very different from like a Chanel aesthetic where they're doing cutouts in these, you know, gorgeous dresses that are still very elegant and very Chanel. So there's a lot of different ways we're seeing cutouts on the runway. I love the skin tight vibe with the cutouts in the dress and a lot of cool cutouts in skirts, floor length skirts, because it just looks very fashionable, but also very edgy. A lot of these pieces I wouldn't personally wear, but as a fashion lover, I can still very much appreciate. And these fashion trends that are happening now for fall 2021 are not to be confused with a lot of the fast fashion cutouts that we see, where it's just like almost club wear, where it's like a short, very tight dress with like cutouts all on the sides and all down the whole body. Like that's a very club wear. It's a club wear aesthetic. It's more of like a fast fashion vibe, and you can very clearly see the difference between that and the high fashion cutouts. So if this is a trend you're kind of on the fence about, that's okay. You don't have to jump on every trend. Not everybody wants to show skin all the time, and not everybody wants to be so edgy. For me, I'm very in the middle. There are pieces that I absolutely love, and I really do think they are high fashion looking, but there are a lot of pieces that I think are just too sexy. I would never wear them. But one thing I'm very happy about is that this is a trend that has been carried over for not one, but at least a couple seasons now, and I love to see that, because I hate to see the super fast-paced trends that are in one season and out the next. That just drives me crazy. So I'm pretty happy about the cutout trend going strong fall 2021. Number 4, let's talk about furs, but not real fur, faux fur, which again, nothing new. And faux fur is really nothing new. It's been around for a very long time. There have always been people who have preferred the faux fur option to real fur. The difference lately in the last few seasons is that we're actually seeing faux fur on the runway within high fashion collections. There are challenges with this, or maybe I should say arguments. There are a lot of people who say actually faux fur is a lot less sustainable than real fur. So it's like the sustainability issue versus the animal cruelty morality issue, I guess you could call it. So I am just not educated on this enough. I will tell you guys that a couple seasons ago, I decided that I'm not going to buy fur going forward. I do have some fur pieces that I already own that I've had for like a decade, some coats with fur trim. Actually, I have 2 vintage furs. One is like a cropped pink fur, and one is like a real vintage 70s or 80s style vintage coat. And I don't know, like I kind of want to wear those because I still own them, but I did decide going forward I would not buy fur again. It's a touchy subject, I know, and I am very sensitive to it, and I understand that there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions. I don't know how I feel about the faux fur issue. I wonder if there are ways that they're making them more sustainably, because my understanding is that a lot of faux fur is made from plastic, which is also pretty horrible. So, you know, it's a very big gray area, a lot of different opinions on this. I'd love to hear from you. Please don't come for me. I'm just telling you what's happening on the runway, not trying to get into it. But yes, faux fur definitely still coming in strong. happy that it's carried over again from previous seasons. Out of principle, it makes me happy because a lot of people feel this pressure to always be in fashion. But when things are carried over from season to season, it makes that pressure of consumption a little less intense, a lot less intense actually. So it makes me very, very happy to see a lot of these trends being carried over. Number 5, another trend we're seeing again. So happy about this: sweater vests, sweater cardigans, button-down cardigans, crop cardigans. I am so, so happy to see these trends carrying over. Now, sweater vests and cardigans are not the same, but I'm just putting them in the same category because they do have like a similar aesthetic, very 90s appeal. I really, really like it. I have found sweater vests that I really enjoy. I think they're really cool, and I think they look really amazing on a lot of different people. I love the cardigans, crop cardigans, button-down cardigans. Love this trend. I think it's very versatile. I like that you can find these pieces in all different price points. Granted, I am talking about fashion on the runway today, so we have seen a lot of these pieces very high fashion on the runway. But you guys know on this channel, I love to mix in affordable fashion as well. I personally am not going to be spending $1,000 on a sweater vest or a button-down cardigan. No, I mean, it would have to be absolutely spectacular. I'm really into like Chanel ready-to-wear these days, so like if I find like a special Chanel ready-to-wear piece, I will splurge on it. But like a simple cardigan, even if it's cool and fashionable, like I'm just not going to drop a lot of money on that. So that's like a piece I'd like to find more affordable from like Zara Life or maybe the H&M Conscious collection. So there are a lot of different price points for these trends, but I do like to see it on the runway, and I'm happy that it's another trend being carried over from last season. Number 6, let's talk the Canadian tuxedo. So as a Canadian, I very much support this trend. It's weird because this is something that like we've kind of seen in fashion here and there, very like cowgirl chic, and you've seen it referred to as a Canadian tuxedo, but it's not really something that we've seen that much on the runway. And it's really cool to be seeing it in collections more in a fashion forward way, because this is something that, you know, a lot of people like to wear, and they definitely do like to wear it in a fashionable way, because in the past this was more seen as like, I don't know, something you'd wear to like a line dancing party, which is weird because like in Toronto, it's not very country town. Over here it's very much city, very urban, but I guess in certain parts of Canada maybe they like to do that, like in Calgary where they have the Calgary, like the Stampede. Maybe that's how it got the name Canadian tuxedo. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a Canadian tuxedo. I'm here for it. I love seeing it on the runway. It's always kind of been there. It's just been something that we haven't seen really in high fashion, but it's always kind of been there. The Western trend has absolutely been there. Western boots, Western hats, fringe leather jackets, fringe handbags, fringe suede crossbodies. So very, very relevant in fashion, goes with the whole Western vibe. Very here for the Canadian tuxedo. Number 7, let's talk sequins. Now, look, sequins, also nothing new. Nothing new at all. Sequins are always something that we'll see in evening wear, and it's just something that has always kind of been around. But again, we are seeing it more in ready-to-wear, shown on the runway, shown in the latest collections for fall 2021. And we're seeing it also in accessories and handbags. Now, one of the most popular ones I've seen lately has been the Chanel 19 that they did in sequin. At first, when I saw it, I thought, oh my God, this bag is outrageous. This bag is amazing. And I think it's really cool, but I feel like I got over it really quickly. Kind of over the Chanel 19 in sequin, not over the Chanel 19. Love the Chanel 19. Let's not get crazy. Settle down. Love the Chanel 19, but the Chanel 19 sequin, I think it's cool, but not that into it. We are seeing a lot of handbags and accessories, high-end fashion, coming down the runway, head to toe sequins. You know, it just depends on the piece for me. I'm not so attracted to the whole sequin thing. It kind of reminds me of my daughter's like flippy shirts, you know, and by the way, those are also seen in fashion. Those flippy trends that we see, the sequin flippy thing, that started in fashion. It just got really popular amongst like kids and kids accessories, kids t-shirts, kids like little sequin pillows where you flip up and down. So for me, the association changed quickly to like kid stuff. It's got to be really special for me to love it. But yeah, very, very popular, coming down the runway fall 2021. Number 8, Fringe. Now, we just touched on this very quickly when we talked about the Canadian tuxedo trend. This is also carried over. I'm so happy about this. I talked about Fringe last season. I'm very happy to talk about it again. I love Fringe. I love the aesthetic. It's very much my vibe. I've showed you a lot of Fringe pieces in my closet. Actually, I think I have one very handy I can show you. Right behind me, in fact, my Saint Laurent Fringe booties. You guys have seen this a few times on this channel. I've styled it in fall and winter lookbooks. I think these are awesome and very cool. And I bought these, my gosh, years ago, and they are still relevant in fashion today. So rock on, Saint Laurent. So happy about these boots. You know, for me, I definitely love seeing what the new trends are, and I love fashion, and I love the new trends for the season, and, you know, updating a few pieces here and there in my wardrobe. But my favorite thing is when I buy something that I truly love, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts, and I can just wear it season after season. It's a bonus when it's something that's trendy season after season, because truly the Fringe trend is not something classic. It's very much an aesthetic or, you know, a trend piece. For me, I rock it because I like the aesthetic, but it's very cool that it's also a trend piece that is, you know, very much relevant in fashion. And I just personally love the Fringe trend. There's Fringe in so many different ways. There's the rocker fringe, which is like, you know, the booty that I showed you, you know, leather fringe jackets. But then there's also the Fringe trend, like a fringe flapper dress, which is completely different, yet the both are very much hot and trending. Those two vibes could not be more night and day. I mean, one is very much almost like 80s rocker vibe, and then the flapper fringe is like, I don't know, what is it, 20s or 30s, the flapper era? I think that was the 20s, right? That roaring 20s flapper era. I mean, the two are so different, but both fringe aesthetics, both fringe vibes are very trending for fall 2021. And again, so happy that this has been carried over from the past couple seasons. Number 9 has got to go to blush and nude tones, which again, really, these are just things that people wear because they like them. So whether they're hot and trending, there are things that are kind of always relevant in fashion because people always love nude tones. Specifically this season, we're seeing blush and neutral tones, which I personally love. I think it's very flattering for me and my skin tone, my coloring, my hair color. I really do love the blush tones, absolutely, in handbags, accessories, and fashion. And I think last year, I think we talked about yellow and maybe lavender. I could be wrong. I can't remember. I think yellow for sure. And I was like, who makes these rules, you know? And then some of you guys wrote in the comments Pantone, which yes, rings such a bell. Like I've heard that many times. I just don't remember, you know? It's like all of the designers, you know, get together and they decide this is the color of the year and then they all do the same color. But no, there's a guide, I guess, that kind of tells them. But like who ultimately decides is what I want to know.
The elders and their rules were the lie.
Anyway, so blush and neutral tones and also gray. Gray, also nothing new. I find gray very boring. I will wear some gray, but I wear gray more as loungewear, sweatsuits, or like a fitted shirt when I'm like lounging around, running errands. I don't really love gray when it comes to high fashion. If I'm going out and I want to look like decked head to toe, want to look really good, cutting edge, fashionable, I'm not reaching for gray. It's just not my color, but we are seeing gray, definitely blush and neutral. So I guess those are the colors we will be seeing going forward 2021. And finally, number 10 for trends coming in hot fall 2021, sheer and see-through. Now, we talked about this. We talked about this, I think, since 2019. Trends coming in hot 2019 to 2020. 2021 to 2022, we are still seeing sheers, see-through dresses, see-through pants. But in the past, we saw them in a different way. And I got to tell you, I liked them in the past more than I like them now. When I first started seeing see-through dresses come down the runway, I loved them. I loved them because they had that femininity and that sexiness without being raunchy. And it's not that these trends that we're seeing are raunchy. They're just, for me, a little too racy. You know, when you see it on the runway, it's never really shown in a raunchy way. But sometimes when it's consumed, it's very hard to style in a way that doesn't look that way because, you know, you're not on the runway. You don't have like the whole high fashion look. So if you're wearing a pair of skin tight see-through pants out in public, even if you're going to a nightclub, it still looks to me inappropriate. And this is not an age thing. There's not like, oh, you know, it's because you're over the age of 21 or you've got to be under 25 to rock this stuff. I don't think that way at all. I just really don't like the see-through skin tight vibe. I think it's cool when it's like a long skin tight dress that's still kind of soft in the cut of it, not so revealing, like it's see-through, it's sheer, but it's still maybe like a mock neck and it's long. So it's like you see a little bit of the bra and a little bit of the undies, but it's not like everything's out. I have seen some pieces on the runway that do look like everything is just out for everyone to see. I don't love that. So for me, not so into the very sheer see-through pieces I'm seeing down the runway for fall 2021. That's just my take. I'd love to know what you think specifically about this trend. I know there's a lot of people that love it, but for me, I don't know, it's just a bit too much.
It's too much!
All right, you guys, that wraps up today's video. Those are the 10 trends coming in real hot for fall 2021. Now, there are a lot more trends coming in hot for 2021, but those are the 10 that I wanted to focus on today. I'm really so happy that at least 5 out of the 10 that we talked about today are carried over from last season. That makes me so happy because I think we should focus a little less on this overconsumption. I do buy fashion, you guys know that, but I really have been cutting down, especially when it comes to those fast fashion hauls. Like I completely stopped doing those on this channel. We know that, so I'm really happy that a lot of these trends have carried over. Again, I'd love to hear what you think. I always love hearing what you think. Leave me a comment down below, and if you like this video, you know, give me a like. I love you guys so much. I cannot wait to see you in my next video, so until next time, bye for now.